who would you have as the next England manager? Who's the top man?
So your top man, I think there's only one standout candidate. It's going to be Malander. I think he's proved himself over about 10 years now. He's got the changing room with him. He's a talent, and I think he's he'll bring the young kids through. I think he's definitely a man for your job.
Lads, first of all, put the dominoes and the orange away and get the blonde and the pints out. What's going on?
yeah, very.
Hey,
that's a little better. Well done, fellas. What I've got to ask you is this: the performance off the field of the England rugby team down in New Zealand, and I'm not being, I'm not trying to be highfalutin here. It was disgraceful in terms of them representing our country. Now, you boys are from the amateur game. Do you feel that those professionals who should have acted like professional sportsmen have let your game down? And by the way, lads, could you ask our lad who's holding that camera to put it down a bit because we can't see enough of you? That's better. Thank you very much indeed. Lovely. Do you think you've been let down as sportsmen in the world of rugby by the top professionals?
Well, I think that we go on tour twice a year, and we've never done any of the things that the England guys did in New Zealand. Any of the jumping off ferries or the alleged incidents in bars in Auckland. It just smacks of amateurism, and I think that therein lay one of the faults of the England setup, that there wasn't that sort of structure and there wasn't that leadership from the top down through to the players.
Was there a lack of discipline off the field that actually spilled over onto the field of play, and then obviously it just spread throughout the group? Because we had one off the ferry, one getting drunk with a blonde, a few getting drunk on a night out, and the two coaches who messed about with the ball. So it was just right away. It was rife right the way through.
That's it. It's also created a very bad impression. Britain, in terms of that, that man we're talking about is married to a member of the royal family. And that's viewed, by those of us that might be royalists as a massive slur on our country, as well as over and above off the rugby field.
Yeah, boys, I don't want to be stuck in the past. I want to kind of look forward. And I just wonder, at this moment in time, just seeing Shaun Edwards has been signed up by Wales, do you think that the RFU might have missed a trick there by not signing him up and getting him involved in the England squad?
I'm not so sure, because I think if you look at our defence over the World Cup and prior to that, it's been pretty slick. So, there's a bit of chat about Ellis maybe moving on. To be honest, I think he's done a fairly decent job. I think if they really wanted Edwards, they could have probably got him. But there's other people out there that I think can perform. So I wouldn't say it's a major issue.
And at this moment of time, with what's going on with the RFU committee, who on earth wants to go into the middle of that mess?
Well, I totally agree with you. There is no leadership from the top down except Rob Andrew, who seems to believe he's the saviour of rugby in this country. What, fellas, do you think about Martin Johnson? What sort of reputation does Martin Johnson have within the world of rugby? I personally think he was the most dignified sportsman I've seen yesterday when he stepped down.
It was a very interesting press conference that he gave. And, for somebody who, I know we heard all these sort of these phrases yesterday, but fantastic player. I questioned his decision to go into the job in the first place. But for somebody to go into that job with no coaching qualification or managerial qualifications, to go and win the Six Nations, to win in Ireland, to win in Wales, to beat Australia home and away, I think he is the first person in the world that I know that's done that with no coaching or managerial ability.
Yeah.